Take a moment. There is nothing you need to do right now. No problem to solve. No thought to fix. No destination to reach. Just allow yourself to arrive. Whatever is happening in your mind can be exactly as it is. You are safe to listen. You are safe to rest. Right now, there is a quiet misunderstanding that often follows us through life. The idea that this moment is not enough yet, that something must change before we are allowed to feel calm. But notice this gently. Nothing in this moment is asking to be improved. The breath is already breathing. The body is already supporting you. Sounds may come and go on their own. You don't have to manage any of it. Awareness does not require effort. It is already here, listening. Even the feeling of restlessness is allowed to exist here. You are not late. You are not behind. You have arrived. Before any thought appears, before any emotion rises, something is already here. That something is awareness. You don't need to create it. You don't need to search for it. You are already aware of these words. That is awareness working effortlessly. Notice this simple fact. Thoughts appear inside awareness, which means you are not inside the thoughts. They move. Awareness stays. Even if your mind feels busy, awareness itself is not busy. Like the sky does not rush when clouds move quickly. You don't need to push thoughts away. Just notice where they appear. They appear in you. Allow your attention to gently include the body. No need to scan or control. Just notice the weight of your body being supported. Gravity is already doing its job. You are being held without effort. If there is tension, it does not need to leave. Let it stay without resistance. Often when we stop demanding change, change happens naturally. The body understands how to rest when it feels safe. And safety begins when nothing is forced. Thoughts may continue to appear. Planning, remembering, commenting. That's okay. The goal is not to stop thinking. The goal is to stop believing that every thought requires action. A thought is just a sound in the mind, like a passing voice. You can hear it without following it. Notice how thoughts rise on their own, and notice how they fade without your help. You are not responsible for managing each one. Awareness does not interfere. It observes. This time is not a task. You are not trying to relax. You are not trying to succeed. There is nothing to get right. Even listening imperfectly is perfectly fine. You can drift. You can lose focus. You can come back. Everything is allowed. The mind often relaxes when it realizes there is no demand placed upon it. Let that realization settle. Without using words, notice the simple sense of being here. Not who you are, not your story, just the quiet feeling, I am. This sense does not need explanation. It does not need definition. It is present before any description. Rest there. No effort required. Whatever this moment contains, is already included. Sounds, thoughts, sensations, silence. You don't need to select what should stay or leave. Awareness is open enough to hold all of it. Even boredom is allowed, even impatience. Nothing is excluded from awareness. And because nothing is excluded, nothing needs to fight for attention. If at any point you feel lost in thought, that noticing itself is awareness waking up. You have not failed. You have not drifted away. You have simply noticed, and noticing is enough. Return gently, again and again. There is no limit to how many times you are allowed to return. As this section continues, let the words become background. You don't need to analyze them. Let them pass through you like soft echoes. Awareness does not cling to meaning. It receives. Notice the space between words. That space is not empty. It is alive. For the next few moments, allow yourself to rest without expecting any result. No insight required, no breakthrough needed. Just rest as awareness itself. If sleep comes, let it come. If thoughts continue, let them continue. Nothing here is wrong. There is nothing to finish, nothing to conclude. Awareness does not end. It simply continues. As the next part unfolds, you don't need to prepare. Just remain as you already are, listening, present, aware. And from here, we gently continue.
Take a deep, slow breath. Let your attention rest gently on the simple fact that you are here. Not your thoughts, not your stories, not your worries, just the awareness that notices them. Before any thought arises, there is already awareness. Before any feeling appears, there is the one who feels. Before words form, there is the presence that hears them. This awareness is not created. It was never made. It is already here, already present. Notice how it does not need effort. It does not strive. It does not worry about the past or the future. It simply observes.
Every thought you experience, every emotion that moves through you, has an observer. This observer is what you are. It is not the thought, it is not the emotion. It is the quiet, steady awareness that notices both. When a worry rises, observe it. Do not push it away. Do not chase it. Simply notice that it is happening, and notice that you are noticing. This noticing is not effortful. It does not try to fix the worry. It does not argue with the thought. It simply acknowledges, this is happening. I see it. I am aware. Repeat this gently in your mind. I am not the thought. I am awareness. I am not the feeling. I am awareness. Awareness is not lacking anything. It does not need improvement. It does not need anything outside itself to be whole. Whatever is happening in your mind, whatever story your thoughts tell, does not add to or subtract from awareness. It simply arises. It simply passes. You remain. Think of awareness as the sky. Thoughts are clouds. Clouds move. Clouds change. Clouds disappear. The sky itself does not move. The sky does not struggle to be sky. It simply is. Notice the simplicity of this. Notice that no action is required. No effort is necessary. You are already whole. You are already aware. Many of us are trained to intervene in every thought. When a memory appears, we chase it. When a fear arises, we push it away. When a feeling comes, we judge it. But awareness does not interfere. It does not correct. It does not control. Awareness simply watches. It does not argue with the mind. It does not try to change the moment. It simply observes. Try now. Notice one thought in your mind. Do not judge it. Do not explain it. Do not plan to act on it. Just see it. And notice that awareness sees it. Awareness is not affected. Awareness is not limited. Awareness is not bound. Repeat. I am awareness. I observe without interference. I am whole, regardless of thought. Between one thought and the next, there is a space, a silence, a gentle pause. This space is not empty. It is full of awareness. Notice this space now. Even for a few moments, simply rest in it. The next thought may appear. Allow it to appear. Then notice the space again. Then another thought. Then the space again. Pause. This rhythm, thought, space, is natural. Awareness does not cling to thoughts. Awareness does not avoid thoughts. Awareness simply exists through all of it. Emotions rise like waves. Fear, excitement, sadness, joy. Sometimes strong, sometimes subtle. Notice an emotion now. Do not label it good or bad. Do not resist it. Do not cling to it. Simply see. There is fear. I am aware of the fear. I notice it rise and fall. Pause. Awareness is like the ocean beneath the waves. The waves move, but the ocean remains. You are the ocean. The emotion is the wave. Breathe slowly. Inhaling calm. Exhaling tension. Every thought will try to claim your attention. Every plan, every judgment, every memory. And every thought is temporary. Every thought will fade. Every thought is not who you are. Awareness is the space that allows all thoughts to appear. Awareness is the container, not the contents. Repeat softly. I am not my thoughts. I am the observer. I am awareness. Pause. Even repetitive or annoying thoughts, even persistent worries, do not define you. Notice this with gentleness. Notice that awareness remains untouched. Notice that awareness is calm. It is natural for the mind to wander. Do not judge yourself. Do not become frustrated. Every time you notice that you are lost in thought, return your attention to awareness itself. Not the thought, not the feeling, not the sound, just awareness. Think of this as a gentle exercise. Each time you return, you strengthen the connection with the observer within. You do not need to hurry. You do not need to measure success. You only need to notice and return. Bring attention to your breath, not to control it, not to change it. Simply notice it. Feel the air enter. Feel the air leave. Notice the subtle pause between inhale and exhale. Awareness watches the breath. Awareness does not force the rhythm. Awareness does not resist it. Awareness simply notices. Repeat silently. I breathe. I notice. I am aware. Awareness is not separate. It is not a distant observer. It is not judgmental. It is your companion. It is quiet, steady, and trustworthy. It does not demand. It does not criticize. It simply is. Notice how safe it feels to be observed by awareness. Pause. This is not a goal. This is not an achievement. This is simply reality. You are already observed. You are already accompanied. You are already aware. Allow yourself to rest even more deeply now. Let awareness expand beyond the mind, beyond the body, beyond the space you occupy. It is difficult to describe. It is easy to experience. Simply rest in the knowledge, I am here, I am aware, nothing is missing. Breathe, notice, be. Thoughts may continue. Emotions may continue. The world may continue. Awareness continues as well, unchanged, calm, present, whole. As this section concludes, do not rush to finish. Do not chase an ending. Awareness does not end. It does not start. It simply exists. You can carry this awareness into the next module, or simply remain here, resting in yourself. And if your mind drifts, remember, returning to awareness is always available, always gentle, always open. Understanding and observing mental noise. Take a slow, deep breath. Let your awareness settle gently on the sounds, thoughts, and feelings present right now. Notice them as they are. Do not chase them. Do not push them away. Simply notice, and notice that you notice. Pause. Your mind is never silent. It has always been talking. Even in the quietest moment, there is a stream of thoughts, memories, questions, and judgments. This is the noise of the mind. And yet, you are not this noise. You are the awareness that hears it. Every thought, every idea, every fragment of memory is like a pebble dropped into a pond. Each ripple moves across the surface and eventually fades. Notice a thought right now. Observe it rise. Observe it spread. Observe it dissolve. You are not controlling it. You are not stopping it. You are merely watching the ripples appear and then fade. Some thoughts may be loud. Some may be soft, almost imperceptible. Some may repeat again and again. This repetition is natural. It is part of the mind's rhythm. It is part of human experience. Even persistent thoughts do not define who you are. You are the awareness beneath them, calm and continuous. The mind never sleeps. Even in silence, it whispers. It comments. It reminds. It predicts. And all of this is normal. This is not a problem. This is not failure. The mind is doing its job, trying to make sense, to plan, to protect. But notice this gently. The job of the mind is not the job of awareness. You are not required to follow it. You are not required to fix it. Listen to the mind without judgment. Hear its noise. Hear its stories. Hear its endless chatter. And now, step back. Observe the sound of the mind without being caught in it. Imagine the mind as a vast sky. Thoughts are clouds moving across it. Some clouds are dark. Some clouds are bright. Some clouds move quickly. Some linger slowly. None of these clouds affect the sky itself. The sky remains open, expansive, and clear. It does not cling to the clouds. It does not push them away. You are like the sky. Awareness is like the sky. And thoughts are simply clouds passing through. Even when the clouds cover the sun, even when the clouds look heavy, the sky beneath them is unchanged. This is how your mind works. This is how your awareness works. You remain calm, no matter how loud the mental noise becomes. The next time a thought arises, notice it. Do not label it good or bad. Do not resist it. Do not try to analyze it. Simply watch it. Notice its shape. Notice its rhythm. Notice its color, its weight, its movement. If a judgment comes, notice the judgment itself. Notice that awareness can observe both the thought and the judgment about the thought. Notice how thoughts appear in waves. Some rise quickly, some linger, some crash, overwhelming briefly. Some are gentle, barely felt. Awareness does not try to control this rhythm. Awareness simply observes. Like listening to waves on the shore, you can hear them crash and retreat without moving with them. This rhythm is natural. This rhythm is life. This rhythm does not need fixing. It does not need to stop. Awareness rests in the presence of this rhythm, steady and unshaken. Noise is not your enemy. Noise is not a failure. Noise is simply noise. Some of it may be confusing. Some of it may feel heavy. Some may be repetitive. Some may be fleeting. Allow it to exist. Do not chase it. Do not fight it. Do not analyze it endlessly. Notice the noise arises, the noise fades, and awareness remains. Certain thoughts repeat often, certain worries return, certain memories linger. Observe these patterns without reaction. See the repetition for what it is, a signal from the mind, not a command. Awareness watches patiently. Awareness sees the cycle. Awareness does not intervene. Pause. Notice the freedom in observation. Notice how calm it is to simply watch without being pulled into the story. Bring attention to your breath now. Do not change it. Do not hurry it. Notice how each inhale supports life. Notice how each exhale releases tension. Notice the pause between inhale and exhale. Let awareness rest on the breath. Let the breath act as an anchor. Let thoughts come and let them drift away, like leaves floating on a stream. Noise teaches patience. Noise teaches observation. Noise teaches the difference between action and reaction, between thought and awareness, between noise and the observer. Observe the lessons quietly. Do not take notes. Do not judge the teacher. Simply learn through presence. Now allow awareness to expand beyond the mind, beyond thoughts, beyond the patterns of memory and expectation. Feel the space around the mind. Notice the vastness beyond thought. Notice the freedom of not needing to control. Thoughts may continue. Noise may persist. But you are vast. You are steady. You are awareness. If your mind drifts to worry or distraction, simply return to noticing. Notice that you notice. If a loud thought appears, watch it carefully. Observe its rise and fall. Allow it to pass naturally. This cycle can continue endlessly, and awareness remains. Always calm, always steady, always present. Pause. Repeat in your mind, I am not the noise. I am awareness. I observe calmly. I am present. As this module comes to a gentle pause, remember, the noise of the mind will never completely stop, and that is not the point. The point is to notice it, to rest in awareness while it continues, to witness without attachment. Carry this awareness with you into the next module, or simply remain here, observing the waves of your mind with patience and care. Pause. And now we gently move forward, keeping the observer steady and letting the mind be exactly as it is. Observing emotions without resistance. Take a slow, deep breath. Feel the body supported. Notice the rhythm of your breathing. Now bring gentle attention to your emotions. Whatever you feel, let it be. Do not push it away. Do not hold on to it. Simply observe it. Pause. Emotions rise naturally. They come as waves. Some are gentle. Some are strong. Some arrive suddenly. Some build slowly. Notice how each emotion has a beginning, a peak, and a fading away. Notice that no emotion lasts forever. All emotions pass, like clouds moving across the sky, like waves retreating from the shore, like wind that touches the trees and moves on. Emotions are signals, not commands. They tell us something is happening inside, but they do not define who we are. Fear may appear. Excitement may arise. Sadness may come uninvited. Joy may surface unexpectedly. Notice each one. Label it softly if you wish. This is fear. This is excitement. This is sadness. This is joy. Then return to the awareness that sees it. You are not the emotion. You are the awareness observing it. Even strong emotions do not control you. Even overwhelming feelings cannot diminish awareness. No matter how loud, how persistent, or how uncomfortable, you remain the calm observer beneath them.
Sometimes we try to stop emotions. We resist sadness. We push away fear. We chase after joy. But the mind and the body know how to move through emotions naturally. Imagine a river. Water flows around rocks and branches. It may swirl in some places. It may tumble down a small waterfall. Eventually, it continues its path. Emotions are like that river. They have energy. They have movement. They rise, flow, and eventually subside. Your task is not to stop the river. Your task is to observe it. Your task is to rest in awareness while it moves. Some emotions feel pleasant. Some feel unpleasant. Some are neutral. Notice them all without judgment. Notice without categorizing as good or bad. Notice without wishing they were different. Even uncomfortable emotions teach us something: to pause, to watch, to return to awareness. Repeat gently in your mind, I notice this emotion. I do not judge it. I observe it passing through awareness. Notice how calm you can remain, even as emotions change. This is the nature of awareness. This is the freedom you have.
Bring gentle attention to your breathing. Breathe slowly. Feel the air enter your body. Feel it leave. Notice the subtle pause between inhale and exhale. As emotions arise, anchor in your breath. Let awareness and breath work together. The body moves through emotion naturally. The mind observes. Awareness rests. Feel one emotion now. Notice its texture. Notice its intensity. Notice its location in the body. Where does it reside? Does fear feel heavy in the chest? Does excitement rise in the stomach? Does sadness weigh on the shoulders? Observe it gently, without resistance, without clinging. Notice the subtle movement of the emotion. Notice how it changes, slightly, gradually, moment by moment. Return to the awareness observing it. You are not the feeling. You are the observer. You are steady. You are calm. Feel one emotion now. Notice its texture. Notice its intensity. Notice its location in the body. Where does it reside? Does fear feel heavy in the chest? Does excitement rise in the stomach? Does sadness weigh on the shoulders? Observe it gently, without resistance, without clinging. Notice the subtle movement of the emotion. Notice how it changes, slightly, gradually, moment by moment. Return to the awareness observing it. You are not the feeling. You are the observer. You are steady. You are calm. Notice how often the mind wants to fix emotions. Stop feeling sad. Calm down. Cheer up. But the observer knows emotions do not need fixing. They need noticing. They need space. They need acceptance. Repeat gently. I notice. I accept. I allow. Emotions rise. Emotions pass. I am awareness. Sometimes multiple emotions occur at once. Perhaps fear and excitement. Perhaps sadness and hope. Observe each individually. Notice the differences. Notice the overlapping. Notice the contrast. Awareness sees all of them at once. It does not favor one. It does not resist another. It simply observes. Notice the richness of experience. Notice the freedom in observing without reacting. Each emotion has something to show you, a hidden thought, a need, a subtle pattern. Notice what arises, but do not chase it. Notice what passes, but do not cling. The observer learns simply by noticing. Patience grows. Clarity emerges. Peace is discovered in the acceptance of what is. Now rest in the presence of all current emotions. Observe without judgment. Breathe with them. Allow them to rise, move, and fade. Imagine a gentle wind. It stirs the leaves. It moves the water. It touches everything lightly, but does not force change. Awareness is like that wind. Emotions are the leaves in the water. You remain steady. You remain calm. As this module ends, remember, emotions will always arise. This is natural. This is life. The observer remains steady. The mind and body will continue to produce feelings. And yet, you are constant. You are calm. You are awareness. Gently move forward into the next module, or stay here observing, breathing, and resting in awareness. Releasing without resistance. Take a slow breath and allow your attention to rest on this moment. Let the awareness soften around your mind, around your body, as if a gentle light is settling everywhere. In this moment, nothing needs to be fixed, nothing needs to change, and nothing needs to be held. You are simply here, noticing, aware, alive. Letting go begins with noticing. Noticing that we often cling to thoughts, emotions, or memories,
as if holding them tightly will keep us safe or make us complete. We often push, resist, or try to control what we feel, and in that effort we create tension. Releasing does not mean forgetting. Releasing does not mean ignoring. Releasing means observing with gentleness, with curiosity, with quiet understanding. Notice something you are holding in your mind right now. Perhaps a worry, perhaps a thought that keeps repeating, perhaps a desire or expectation. Just notice it. See how it feels to hold it tightly. Can you feel the weight it creates, the subtle tension in your chest, your shoulders, your mind? Acknowledge it without judgment. Say silently, "I notice this. I see it as it is." This is the beginning of letting go. Letting go is not a sudden act. It is not a command shouted at the mind or the body. It is a gentle process, like leaves drifting slowly down a river. The leaves do not fight the current. They simply move with it. The river does not push them, and the leaves do not cling. They move naturally. You too can allow your thoughts and feelings to move like leaves. You can allow them to come and go without grasping, without resisting, without forcing. Think of a river. Each emotion, each thought, each tension is a ripple on the water's surface. Some ripples are small and fleeting. Others are larger, moving more strongly. You do not need to stop them. You do not need to direct them. You are the observer of the river, the space in which these ripples appear. Letting go is simply noticing the ripple and allowing it to pass. Even if the ripple returns, even if a new ripple forms, you remain steady. Sometimes we hold because we fear loss. We fear that letting go will mean emptiness, absence, or lack of control. But true letting go is not emptiness, it is space. Space in which awareness can breathe, in which the mind can rest, in which clarity can arise naturally. Observe the thought that resists letting go. See how it feels, what it says. Then gently allow it to drift like a cloud in the sky, knowing that the sky itself is unchanged, vast and open. Memories can cling to us, emotions can linger, and habits of thought can feel like chains. Letting go does not erase them. It allows them to exist without controlling the present. You may notice tension in the body, heaviness in the chest, or tightness in the shoulders. Letting go does not demand that this tension vanish immediately. Simply allow it to be, notice it, and imagine it softening naturally over time. With awareness, it can release without force. The act of letting go can be practiced with small things first. A thought about tomorrow, a fleeting worry, a minor disappointment. Observe it fully. Notice the desire to hold or change it, and then say to yourself, "I can let this be. I can release it gently." With each small act, the mind learns the rhythm of freedom. You learn that holding is optional and releasing is natural.
Breathing is a perfect companion in letting go. Inhale slowly, feeling the body expand. Exhale slowly, imagining tension flowing out. Not pushed, not forced, simply released. Let each exhale carry the unnecessary weight away. Let each inhale bring calm, awareness, and ease. This rhythm of breathing mirrors the rhythm of letting go. Thoughts come and go, emotions rise and fall, yet awareness remains steady. Each breath is a reminder that release is not loss, that release is not failure, but a return to the natural state of balance. Letting go can also be extended to patterns of judgment. Notice when the mind criticizes, compares, or condemns. See these patterns clearly, then allow them to drift without resistance. You do not need to argue with the judgment. You do not need to erase it. Simply observe it and let it flow past,
like wind moving over a field. Awareness remains. Calm remains. You remain. Attachment often arises from expectation. We expect things to remain as we wish, to unfold in a certain way, to satisfy our desires. Notice the expectations that are present now. Do they bring tension? Do they create subtle restlessness? Acknowledge them, see them fully, and then imagine setting them aside without struggle. Letting go of expectation does not remove engagement with life. It allows engagement without the burden of insistence. Life can unfold naturally, and awareness can meet it freely. Sometimes letting go requires patience. A thought may cling stubbornly, an emotion may resist release, a memory may replay itself. There is no need to force the process. Simply observe the persistence, notice it, and gently return to awareness. Each return is itself an act of letting go. You do not have to succeed in the first attempt. The rhythm of letting go is practiced, repeated, and refined. It is a gentle dance with the mind, not a battle. Imagine holding sand in your hand. If you clutch it tightly, it presses painfully. Some grains fall, and the hand tires. If you open your hand slightly, some grains remain, some drift away, and the hand feels lighter. Letting go is like opening the hand. Not all is released at once, and not all needs to be. The act of loosening the grip is enough. Awareness watches the hand, notices the grains, and allows both presence and release to coexist.
Feelings of resistance are natural. The mind often wants to hold on to discomfort, worry, or fear because it believes this protects you. Yet, awareness can see that these feelings do not need to be controlled to be understood. Observe them fully. Give them space. Allow them to pass gradually and naturally without forcing or pushing. Releasing is not passive. It is an active recognition that some things are better served by observation than by interference. Letting go also applies to attachment to identity, to story, to expectation of self. Sometimes we define ourselves by our past, our roles, or our abilities. Notice where you hold tight to who you think you are. Observe the stories that your mind repeats. Then imagine loosening the grip, allowing the self-narrative to exist without binding you. Awareness sees the self, observes the self, and yet is not bound by it. You are free within your own presence. Repetition is part of letting go. Thoughts and emotions may return. This is natural. The process is not a one-time act, but an ongoing rhythm. With each observation, each gentle release, each recognition of awareness, you strengthen the skill of being free within the mind. You learn to let go of force, to let go of tension, to let go of unnecessary control. You learn that freedom exists in observation, not in suppression. Bring attention to the body. Feel the shoulders, the chest, the spine, the arms. Notice any tension or holding. Let the awareness move through these areas as if it is light passing through a room. You do not need to push. You do not need to manipulate. Simply allow awareness to flow, noticing the sensations, allowing release, noticing the presence of life moving naturally through the body. Return to the mind. Notice one thought that is present. Observe it fully. Let it drift. Notice another thought. Let it pass. Observe an emotion. Let it move. Observe a memory. Release it gently. In this process, you are practicing the art of letting go without force. You are cultivating patience, calm, and steady awareness. Sometimes letting go is easier when accompanied by gentle affirmation. Repeat silently. I release without force. I observe without attachment. I am aware. I am free. I am present. Allow these words to settle into the mind like soft waves lapping on a shore. They do not demand. They do not push. They simply remind you of your capacity to release naturally. Notice that as you release, space opens within. Space for clarity, for calm, for natural flow. Space that was hidden by tension, by grasping,
by resistance, space that allows awareness to breathe fully. Each release, no matter how small, increases this openness. Awareness becomes more expansive. Presence becomes more vivid. The mind becomes a landscape in which thoughts, emotions, and memories move freely without disturbing the observer. Let go also includes forgiveness, not in a moral sense, but in the sense of allowing events, mistakes, and outcomes to exist without clinging to them. Observe situations that create tension or regret. Let them exist as they are. Awareness sees them. Awareness allows them. Awareness does not fight them, and yet remains untouched by them. You are not burdened by the past, by outcomes, or by what could have been. You are present, steady, and free. Finally, rest in the understanding that letting go is not about becoming perfect or escaping reality. It is about engaging with life while maintaining calm observation. It is about recognizing the natural movement of thoughts, emotions, and experiences, and choosing not to grip, not to resist, and not to force. Life flows, and so can you, within the steady, quiet, and ever-present awareness. That is your true nature. This moment is an invitation. Observe your mind, release without force, allow your emotions to move, and rest in the awareness that sees all. Nothing needs to be fixed, nothing needs to be pushed. You are here, you are aware, you are free, you are letting go.
Watching the mind without attachment. Take a slow, deep breath and bring gentle awareness to the flow of your thoughts. Notice how they rise, move, and fade. Observe them without judgment, without trying to stop them, without trying to follow them. Each thought is like a cloud in the sky, each fleeting, each moving according to its own nature. Awareness does not chase the clouds. Awareness does not hold them. Awareness simply observes. Notice one thought in particular. Watch how it begins, how it shifts, how it stretches into space. Notice the subtle movements of the mind as it constructs narratives, draws conclusions, or predicts outcomes. You are not the thought. You are the awareness that sees it. By observing without attachment, you allow the thought to exist without becoming entangled in it. The mind is habitual. It repeats patterns again and again. Certain worries arise regularly. Certain memories replay in loops. Certain judgments return like familiar voices. These patterns are not failures. They are the natural tendencies of a mind designed to learn, protect, and navigate life. Notice these patterns as if looking at a river flowing over stones. Some currents move swiftly, some slowly, some twist and turn unpredictably, and yet the river itself remains continuous. Bring gentle attention to a recurring thought you notice often. Observe it fully. See how it starts, how it moves, how it attempts to grab your attention. Notice the subtle tension that arises when you recognize the thought. Now, imagine stepping back, allowing the thought to float past without holding on to it, without resisting it, without judging it. Awareness remains steady, calm, and spacious. The patterns of the mind can sometimes feel overwhelming. We see the same worries, the same judgments, the same fears, returning again and again. Notice this return as a natural rhythm. Notice that even as thoughts repeat, awareness does not diminish. Awareness observes the pattern, recognizes it, and allows it to continue without interference. This recognition itself brings freedom. By seeing the repetition without clinging, you create space between yourself and the thought. Now, notice the variety in your thoughts. Some are fleeting, some persistent, some subtle, some loud. Some thoughts bring emotion, some do not. Observe them all as they appear. Each thought has its own texture, its own energy, its own movement. Awareness accommodates them all. Awareness does not favor one thought over another. Awareness does not resist any thought. Awareness simply observes, allowing the mind to express its natural patterns. The mind also constructs stories. Perhaps it tells tales about the past, about what was said, about what might have been. Perhaps it anticipates the future, imagining outcomes, planning and projecting. Notice these stories without becoming a character in them. Observe the story unfolding as if you were watching a play on a stage. The story exists, but you are not the story. You are the observer of the story. Sometimes the mind jumps from one pattern to another quickly, like sparks leaping from fire to fire. Other times thoughts linger in loops, circling repeatedly. Observe the rhythm of these patterns. Notice how some thoughts demand attention while others whisper softly. Notice how some emotions accompany certain thoughts while others remain neutral. By watching without attachment, you strengthen your ability to see clearly and respond wisely, rather than react automatically. Bring attention to subtle judgments that arise with your thoughts. Perhaps the mind evaluates itself, criticizes itself, or compares itself to others. Notice the tendency to judge without needing to act on it. Observe the judgment as it arises, acknowledge it, and allow it to move on. You do not need to correct it, change it, or suppress it. Simply observe and allow the judgment to pass as naturally as the thought itself. The practice of observing thought patterns also reveals habitual reactions. Some thoughts provoke anxiety, some irritation, some longing, some calm. Notice the habitual response that accompanies recurring thoughts. Observe it fully. See how the body reacts. See how the mind reacts. See how the emotion unfolds. Awareness witnesses all of this without needing to interfere, without needing to fix, without needing to resist. Thoughts often arise with subtle physical sensations. Perhaps a tension in the chest, a knot in the stomach, tightness in the shoulders, or a light energy in the hands. Notice these sensations as you observe the thought. They are part of the pattern. They are signals, not commands. Awareness observes the physical and mental aspects together, noticing how they interconnect yet remain distinct from the observer. The mind also enjoys repetition. Patterns return because they are familiar, comfortable, or significant. Observe the repetition as a teacher. Each return is an opportunity to notice more clearly, to rest more fully in awareness, and to choose not to be pulled away by habit. The more you observe, the more you recognize the freedom inherent in simply watching. Awareness is untouched by repetition. Awareness remains steady and continuous. Now expand your observation to multiple thoughts at once. Notice how some thoughts overlap, how they interact, how some fade while others persist. See the mind as a vast sky with clouds of many shapes, colors, and motions. Some clouds are bright, some dark, some fast-moving, some slow. Observe all of them together without needing to single out one, without needing to control, without needing to judge. Awareness contains all patterns without strain or effort. Notice how attention shifts naturally from one thought to another. Perhaps a memory triggers an emotion. Perhaps a worry leads to planning. Simply follow the chain as an observer, noting the connections and movements. The observer does not interfere, does not judge, does not force. By seeing these chains clearly, you begin to understand the patterns of your mind, the rhythm of thought, and the natural tendencies that shape your experience. Letting awareness expand further, notice the gaps between thoughts, the spaces where no story arises. Even these spaces are part of the pattern, often subtle and easy to miss. Rest in these moments. They are natural pauses, opportunities to observe thought without distraction, opportunities to feel the calm beneath the surface of activity. Awareness remains steady, unshaken, and vast. The act of observing thought patterns is not meant to control or eliminate thoughts. It is meant to cultivate insight, clarity, and freedom. Notice how each thought arises, moves, and fades. Notice the habitual loops. Notice the subtle threads of judgment, expectation, or attachment. And notice that through all of this, awareness remains untouched, steady, and spacious. Bring attention to subtle judgments that arise with your thoughts. Perhaps the mind evaluates itself, criticizes itself, or compares itself to others. Notice the tendency to judge without needing to act on it. Observe the judgment as it arises, acknowledge it, and allow it to move on. You do not need to correct it, change it, or suppress it. Simply observe and allow the judgment to pass as naturally as the thought itself. The practice of observing thought patterns also reveals habitual reactions. Some thoughts provoke anxiety, some irritation, some longing, some calm. Notice the habitual response that accompanies recurring thoughts. Observe it fully. See how the body reacts. See how the mind reacts. See how the emotion unfolds. Awareness witnesses all of this without needing to interfere, without needing to fix, without needing to resist. Thoughts often arise with subtle physical sensations. Perhaps a tension in the chest, a knot in the stomach, tightness in the shoulders, or a light energy in the hands. Notice these sensations as you observe the thought. They are part of the pattern. They are signals, not commands. Awareness observes the physical and mental aspects together, noticing how they interconnect yet remain distinct from the observer. The mind also enjoys repetition. Patterns return because they are familiar, comfortable, or significant. Observe the repetition as a teacher. Each return is an opportunity to notice more clearly, to rest more fully in awareness, and to choose not to be pulled away by habit. The more you observe, the more you recognize the freedom inherent in simply watching. Awareness is untouched by repetition. Awareness remains steady and continuous. Now expand your observation to multiple thoughts at once. Notice how some thoughts overlap, how they interact, how some fade while others persist. See the mind as a vast sky with clouds of many shapes, colors, and motions. Some clouds are bright, some dark, some fast-moving, some slow. Observe all of them together without needing to single out one, without needing to control, without needing to judge. Awareness contains all patterns without strain or effort. Notice how attention shifts naturally from one thought to another. Perhaps a memory triggers an emotion. Perhaps a worry leads to planning. Simply follow the chain as an observer, noting the connections and movements. The observer does not interfere, does not judge, does not force. By seeing these chains clearly, you begin to understand the patterns of your mind, the rhythm of thought, and the natural tendencies that shape your experience. Letting awareness expand further, notice the gaps between thoughts, the spaces where no story arises. Even these spaces are part of the pattern, often subtle and easy to miss. Rest in these moments. They are natural pauses, opportunities to observe thought without distraction, opportunities to feel the calm beneath the surface of activity. Awareness remains steady, unshaken, and vast. The act of observing thought patterns is not meant to control or eliminate thoughts. It is meant to cultivate insight, clarity, and freedom. Notice how each thought arises, moves, and fades. Notice the habitual loops. Notice the subtle threads of judgment, expectation, or attachment. And notice that through all of this, awareness remains untouched, steady, and spacious.
Bring attention back to the breath as you continue observing thought patterns. Each inhale brings a sense of presence. Each exhale carries awareness into the mind. Let the breath anchor you in the observer's perspective. Notice that thoughts may arise with the breath, yet you remain steady, like a mountain observing the wind and clouds passing over it. Reflect on the lessons of observation. Thoughts do not have to dictate actions. Thoughts do not have to create tension. Thoughts do not define your state of being. By observing the patterns without attachment, you create a space where freedom, clarity, and calm can naturally emerge. The mind is active, yet the observer is stable. The mind is noisy, yet awareness is silent and steady.
Return to noticing habitual stories, habitual judgments, and habitual worries. Observe them fully without interference. See how they arise and pass. See how awareness remains constant throughout. This repeated observation strengthens the understanding that while the mind produces patterns endlessly, your awareness is continuous, unbound, and free. Finally, allow a gentle conclusion to this practice. You do not need to finish observing all thoughts. You do not need to catch every pattern. Simply rest in the awareness that has been observing. Let the mind's patterns continue. Let awareness remain steady. Know that the skill of observing thought patterns grows naturally with practice, patience, and gentle attention. You are cultivating clarity, freedom, and calm with each observation. Awareness is constant. Thoughts are temporary. Patterns are transient. By observing them without attachment, you allow yourself to live in presence, free from the grip of habitual cycles. Each moment of observation strengthens your capacity to respond wisely rather than react automatically. You remain steady, calm, and clear, fully alive in the present, watching the mind as it is, without force, without judgment, and without interference. Sensing awareness through physical presence. Take a slow, deep breath and bring your attention gently to your body. Feel the weight of your body against the surface supporting you. Notice how your feet touch the floor, how your hands rest, how your back connects with the chair or mat beneath you. Let awareness move through every part of your body, as if scanning a landscape, quietly, fully, without judgment or expectation. The body is more than a vehicle for thought. It is a vessel of awareness. Every sensation, every movement, every breath carries information about the present moment. To observe the body is to engage with life directly, without story, without analysis, without distraction. Bring attention to the subtle energy within the body, the rhythm of the heartbeat, the flow of breath, the temperature of the skin, the sense of gravity. Notice your feet. Feel how they connect to the ground. Are they heavy, light, or somewhere in between? Notice the small muscles, the pressure of contact, the balance maintained naturally without conscious effort. Awareness resides here as an observer, feeling the body's intelligence and presence. Your feet, your legs, your spine all function seamlessly to support you. Observe this effortless orchestration with quiet curiosity. Move attention upward to the legs. Notice the tension or relaxation, the way they hold the body. Observe the subtle movements even as you sit or lie still. The legs contain memories of motion, habits, and postures. Observe without judging, allowing awareness to sense all textures, sensations, and energies. Feel the natural flow of life in your legs, the energy moving quietly and consistently. Shift attention to the pelvis and abdomen. Notice the rise and fall of the belly with each breath. Notice sensations of fullness, emptiness, warmth, or coolness. These areas often carry emotional residues, subtle tensions, or stored energy. Observe them without trying to change anything. Simply acknowledge their presence and sense how awareness can gently rest here. Bring awareness to the chest. Feel the heartbeat as it pulses rhythmically, like a drum marking the passage of life. Notice the expansion and contraction with each breath. Notice subtle shifts in temperature, tension, and energy. The chest is a central hub of bodily awareness, connecting breath, heart, and movement. Observing the chest connects awareness with the living body in a direct, intimate way. Move attention to the shoulders and arms. Notice any holding, tension, or relaxation. Observe sensations traveling through the arms, the hands, and the fingertips. Notice the ability of your body to perform delicate tasks, to express, to touch, to feel. Awareness in the arms allows you to sense subtle energy, the invisible movements underlying conscious action.
Bring attention to the neck and head. Observe the weight of the head balanced atop the spine. Notice the jaw, the facial muscles, the small movements as the body breathes and the mind thinks. Awareness in the head does not need to analyze every thought. It simply notices, feeling the body as it supports the mind, without resistance, without effort, naturally. Now sense the full body as a whole. Imagine awareness as a light moving through every part of the body simultaneously. Observe the subtle interconnections, how the breath influences the chest, how posture influences the legs, how thought influences subtle tension in the shoulders. The body is a living map, and awareness moves through it like a gentle explorer. Notice sensations that arise with emotions, perhaps tightness in the chest during anxiety, warmth in the hands during excitement, heaviness in the shoulders during sadness. Observe how the body and mind are intertwined, yet awareness can remain steady.
Awareness is not caught in the emotion. Awareness observes the body feeling the emotion, distinct yet connected. The body can also reveal habitual tension. Notice areas where holding occurs unconsciously: tight jaw, rounded shoulders, clenched hands, shallow breathing. Observe these without judgment or correction. Simply notice the presence of tension and the natural ease that emerges when awareness rests on it. Let the body move and breathe naturally. Notice the subtle flow of energy in the body. From the top of the head to the tips of the toes, sense the pulse of vitality, the quiet hum of life, the rhythm of your physical being. The body is not separate from awareness. It is a reflection of it. Observing the body allows you to be fully present in the moment. Bring attention to the spine. Notice how it supports the body, upright and flexible, responding subtly to gravity. Observe the alignment, the curves, the micro movements that maintain balance. Awareness in the spine connects with the core of bodily intelligence, providing stability, flexibility, and flow simultaneously. Now focus on the hands. Notice the sensation of the skin, the fingers, the nails. Observe subtle temperature differences, tingling, or the sense of light energy. Hands are often instruments of action, but here they can also be instruments of awareness. Notice their presence, their connection to the body, and their ability to sense and act naturally. Move attention to the feet again. Sense how they contact the ground, how the weight shifts even in subtle ways. Notice small movements, micro adjustments, balance, and pressure. Awareness in the feet grounds the observer in the present moment, providing a connection to the world, to gravity, to the surface beneath you. Notice the breath again. Feel the subtle flow of air through the nose or mouth. Observe the rise and fall of the chest and belly. Awareness of the breath connects body and mind seamlessly. With each inhale, awareness expands. With each exhale, awareness deepens. The body serves as an anchor, guiding attention, settling the mind, and allowing thought patterns to move naturally without grasping. The body also teaches patience. Observe how it moves, breathes, rests, and responds without force. Notice how the body accommodates life continuously, moment by moment. Awareness resting in the body learns the rhythm of natural intelligence, the calm presence underlying motion, thought, and sensation. Emotions appear in the body. Notice subtle shifts, subtle tightness, warmth, lightness, or heaviness. Awareness rests on these sensations, allowing them to exist without resisting or clinging. You can observe the body feeling emotion without being caught in the story. The observer sees, the body experiences, and the mind watches. Now imagine energy moving through the body like a gentle stream. From toes to head, feel the current moving softly, touching every part, settling every area, releasing tension where it lingers. Awareness moves with it, noticing, observing, resting. No need to force the flow. Allow it to be natural, effortless, and continuous.
Notice thoughts arising in the mind. Observe their connection to the body. A tight chest may accompany worry. Shallow breathing may accompany fear. Tension in the shoulders may accompany stress. Awareness sees these patterns clearly, connecting mind and body without needing to change, correct, or resist. Observation itself creates space and clarity. The practice of observing the body also reveals subtle rhythms of life. Heartbeat, breath, micro-movements, energy flow, all unfold continuously. Awareness resting in the body notices these rhythms naturally, gently, fully. With each observation, the connection between mind and body strengthens, awareness deepens, and calm expands. Bring attention to sensations of comfort, ease, and relaxation in the body. Observe how these sensations arise naturally as awareness rests on them. The body contains wisdom and intelligence. Awareness is capable of noticing it fully. Tension may arise, but relaxation also arises naturally when observed without interference. Expand awareness to the entire body again. Notice every part: head, neck, shoulders, chest, abdomen, spine, arms, hands, legs, feet. Observe subtle interconnections, the rise and fall of breath, the shifting weight, micro-movements, sensations of energy, warmth, or tingling. Awareness encompasses the entire body, seeing it as a unified system, yet noticing the individuality of each part. The body also reflects patterns of thought and emotion. By observing it fully, awareness can see how habits, beliefs, and emotions manifest physically. Awareness resting in the body provides insight without judgment, understanding without force. Observation itself creates freedom. Bring attention to the subtle sensations in the skin, temperature, pressure, texture. Notice contact with clothing, air, and surfaces. Awareness resting on these sensations cultivates presence. You are fully here, fully embodied, fully alive. The body as observer teaches balance. Notice how the body maintains equilibrium even without conscious effort. Awareness resting in the body notices the subtle adjustments, micro-movements, and energy shifts that sustain life moment by moment. Awareness and body move together harmoniously. Finally, rest in the awareness of the body as a whole. Notice the interconnection between mind, body, breath, and awareness. Observe without interference, without force, without judgment. Allow the body to express life naturally while awareness observes. This is the state of being fully present, fully alive, and fully aware through the body. Resting in the quiet beneath all movement. Bring your attention gently inward, not by force, not by effort, simply by allowing awareness to settle where it already is. Inner stillness is not something you create. It is something you notice. Even now, as thoughts move, as the body breathes, as sounds exist around you, there is a quiet presence beneath it all, a space that does not rush, a space that does not argue, a space that does not demand anything from you. Let awareness rest there. Stillness does not mean silence in the mind. Stillness does not mean the absence of sensation. Stillness means the absence of resistance. Notice how life continues moving even as stillness is present. The breath flows, the heart beats, thoughts appear and disappear. Sensations arise and fade, yet something remains unchanged. That unchanging presence is inner stillness. Begin by noticing what does not move. Thoughts move, emotions shift, sensations change, but awareness remains. Rest your attention in that which remains. Inner stillness is like the depth of the ocean. On the surface, waves rise and fall endlessly. Winds disturb the water. Currents collide. Yet deep below, the water is calm, steady, unmoved by surface activity. Your inner stillness exists at that depth. Thoughts are the waves. Stillness is the ocean floor. You do not need to push the waves away to reach the depth. You only need to stop chasing the surface. Allow the mind to move naturally. Allow sensations to come and go. Allow emotions to rise and fall. And notice what remains constant as all of this happens. That constant presence is stillness. Often the mind believes that stillness must be achieved, that it must be earned through discipline or effort. But stillness is already here. It has always been here. It exists before thought, during thought, and after thought. Notice how even a busy mind exists within stillness. Notice how movement requires a background of non-movement. Without stillness, movement could not be perceived. Now, gently turn attention toward the feeling of being aware. Not what you are aware of, but the simple fact that awareness is present. This awareness has no urgency. It does not rush forward or pull backward. It simply is.
Rest there. Inner stillness is spacious. It allows everything. It does not judge thoughts as good or bad. It does not label emotions as positive or negative. It allows experience to unfold without interference. Notice how tension dissolves when nothing is resisted. The body may soften, the breath may deepen, the mind may slow or continue at its own pace. Stillness does not require any of these changes. It exists regardless. Sometimes stillness feels subtle, almost invisible. Other times it feels vast and expansive. Do not measure it. Do not analyze it. Simply notice its presence. If the mind asks, "Am I doing this right?" notice that question appearing within stillness. If the mind says, "Nothing is happening," notice that thought resting within stillness. If impatience arises, notice impatience being held by stillness. Stillness contains all experience without effort. Allow attention to sink deeper, not by going anywhere, but by letting go of engagement. Let go of the need to follow thoughts. Let go of the need to understand. Let go of the need to improve this moment. Nothing needs to be added. Nothing needs to be removed. Inner stillness reveals itself most clearly when nothing is demanded from the moment. Notice the simplicity of being, before identity, before roles, before stories. There is presence. That presence is not passive. It is alive, aware, alert, and calm at the same time. It sees without effort. It knows without thinking. It exists without explanation. Rest here. The mind may try to describe stillness. It may attempt to turn it into a concept. Let it try. Those descriptions arise within stillness as well. They do not disturb it. Stillness is not fragile. It cannot be broken by thought. It cannot be destroyed by noise. In fact, noise reveals stillness more clearly. Just as sound reveals silence, movement reveals stillness.
Notice how awareness remains steady even as experience changes. That steadiness is not rigid. It is flexible, open, and alive. Inner stillness is deeply restful, yet it is not sleep. It is wakeful rest, a state where effort dissolves, but awareness remains clear. Notice how there is nothing to fix here, nothing to solve, nothing to escape. Even discomfort can exist within stillness. Allow awareness to remain open to everything without preference. This openness allows stillness to deepen naturally. Stillness is not withdrawal from life, it is intimacy with life. From stillness, action becomes clearer, responses become wiser, reactions soften. Stillness does not isolate you from the world, it grounds you within it. From stillness, you can hear more clearly. From stillness, you can see more deeply. From stillness, you can act without being driven by impulse. Notice how the sense of self becomes quieter here, not gone, but less demanding, less insistent, less central. There is experience, but no need to own it. There is awareness, but no need to define it. Rest in that simplicity. Inner stillness is timeless. It is not bound to past or future. It exists only now. Every moment you notice it, you are in the present. Even memory appears now. Even anticipation appears now. Stillness remains now. Notice how time seems to soften here. The urgency of doing fades. The pressure of becoming loosens. There is room to simply be. This is not avoidance. This is clarity. Stillness does not mean you stop caring. It means you care without tension. It means you engage without being consumed. Notice how compassion arises naturally from stillness, toward yourself, toward others, toward life as it is. From stillness, there is understanding without judgment. From stillness, there is acceptance without resignation. Stay with this quiet presence, not trying to hold it, not trying to deepen it, simply allowing it to be noticed. If attention drifts, let it drift. If thought pulls, let it pull. Awareness always remains. Each time you notice stillness, you strengthen your familiarity with it. Over time, it becomes less hidden, less subtle, more accessible in daily life. Stillness can be present while walking, while speaking, while working, while listening. It does not require special conditions. Inner stillness is not separate from life. It is the ground of life. Now allow awareness to rest effortlessly. No focus, no object, no direction. Just presence noticing itself. There is nothing more to do here. Stillness is already complete.
Freedom begins when control ends. Bring your attention to the subtle effort you carry. Not the obvious effort of the body, but the quiet effort of control. Notice how often the mind tries to manage experience, trying to hold what feels good, trying to avoid what feels uncomfortable, trying to predict what will happen next, trying to make life behave. This tendency is natural. The mind was shaped to control, to plan, to protect. But control has a cost. Notice how tension arises the moment you try to control what is already happening. Notice how effort appears when the mind resists uncertainty. Notice how fatigue grows when control becomes constant. Letting go of control does not mean giving up life. It means releasing the illusion that life needs to be managed moment by moment. Begin by noticing where control lives. It may appear as mental pressure, as constant planning, as worry disguised as preparation, as resistance to what is. Observe this tendency gently, not to judge it, not to stop it, simply to see it clearly. Control often feels like safety, but underneath it is often fear. Fear of loss, fear of pain, fear of uncertainty, fear of not being enough. Let awareness rest with this fear without trying to solve it. Notice that fear itself arises within awareness. It is experienced, it is felt, it is observed. It is not who you are. The need for control weakens when awareness is present. Now notice the body. Where does control show up physically? Perhaps in the jaw, the shoulders, the stomach, the breath. Observe without changing anything. Simply notice the holding. Let awareness soften around these areas, not forcing release, just allowing space. Freedom begins when control ends. Bring your attention to the subtle effort you carry, not the obvious effort of the body, but the quiet effort of control. Notice how often the mind tries to manage experience, trying to hold what feels good, trying to avoid what feels uncomfortable, trying to predict what will happen next, trying to make life behave. This tendency is natural. The mind was shaped to control, to plan, to protect. But control has a cost. Notice how tension arises the moment you try to control what is already happening. Notice how effort appears when the mind resists uncertainty. Notice how fatigue grows when control becomes constant. Letting go of control does not mean giving up life. It means releasing the illusion that life needs to be managed moment by moment. Begin by noticing where control lives. It may appear as mental pressure, as constant planning, as worry disguised as preparation, as resistance to what is. Observe this tendency gently, not to judge it, not to stop it, simply to see it clearly. Control often feels like safety, but underneath it is often fear. Fear of loss, fear of pain, fear of uncertainty, fear of not being enough. Let awareness rest with this fear without trying to solve it. Notice that fear itself arises within awareness. It is experienced, it is felt, it is observed. It is not who you are. The need for control weakens when awareness is present. Now notice the body. Where does control show up physically? Perhaps in the jaw, the shoulders, the stomach, the breath. Observe without changing anything. Simply notice the holding. Let awareness soften around these areas, not forcing release, just allowing space. The future is imagined. The present is real. Letting go of control brings attention back to what is actually happening now, here. Notice how the breath does not need to be controlled to function. Notice how the body adjusts posture automatically. Notice how sounds arrive without effort. Life knows how to live. You are part of that life. Control often arises from mistrust,
a belief that something is wrong with how things are unfolding. Let awareness rest with that mistrust, gently, without judgment. See it, feel it, allow it. Trust does not mean certainty. Trust means openness. Letting go of control does not mean passivity. It means presence without resistance. From this state, action is clearer, simpler, and more effective. Notice how when control loosens, listening improves, perception sharpens, sensitivity increases. You respond instead of react. The mind may ask, if I let go, what happens to me? Notice the question. Notice the fear underneath. Then notice that even the question appears within awareness, and awareness remains untouched. You are not held together by control. You are held by awareness. Let that be felt, not understood intellectually. Now allow attention to rest in stillness again. Control cannot survive in stillness. It requires movement, effort, tension. Stillness reveals what is already stable. Let life unfold in this moment without correction, just for now, just here. Even a few seconds of letting go changes the nervous system, changes perception, changes relationship with experience. Letting go is not an event. It is a practice of recognition. Each time you notice control, you loosen it. Each time you allow uncertainty, you grow freer. Each time you rest in awareness, control loses its grip. You do not need to perfect this. You only need to notice. Let awareness remain open. Let experience move. Let control soften. Freedom does not arrive by force. It reveals itself when force ends. Rest here.
Feeling fully without being carried away. Bring attention to the presence of emotion. Not to a specific emotion yet, but to the simple fact that emotions arise. Emotion is movement. It moves through the body, through the mind, through sensation. Detachment does not mean absence of emotion. Detachment means space around emotion. Suppression pushes emotion down. Detachment allows emotion to move freely without control. There is a difference. Begin by noticing how emotions naturally appear. They arise without permission. They shift without warning. They fade without effort. Emotion is not a decision. It is a response of the nervous system to experience. Notice an emotion present right now. It does not need to be strong. It can be subtle, a tone, a mood, a background feeling. Observe it. Where does it live in the body? Is it tight or loose? Warm or cool? Heavy or light? Do not name it yet. Simply feel. Most suffering around emotion does not come from the emotion itself. It comes from resistance, from the attempt to change it, escape it, or justify it. Detachment begins when resistance ends. Allow the emotion to exist exactly as it is, not more, not less, exactly as it is right now. Notice how awareness can feel emotion without becoming it. Emotion says, "This is happening." Awareness says nothing. It simply observes. You are not asked to disconnect from feeling. You are invited to stop drowning in it. Let awareness remain steady while emotion moves. Imagine emotion as weather passing through the sky.
Storms may come, clouds may gather, rain may fall, but the sky is not harmed by weather. It allows all of it. Awareness is the sky. Emotion is the weather. Detachment means staying as the sky. Notice how the mind often adds story to emotion. A feeling appears, then thought explains it, justifies it, amplifies it, or fears it. Observe that sequence. Feeling arises, thought comments, emotion intensifies. Detachment occurs when awareness sees the sequence without joining it. You do not need to stop thoughts. You do not need to stop emotions. You only need to stop merging with them. Now notice how the body reacts to emotion. Tight shoulders, shallow breath, contracted chest. Observe without correcting. Let the body express emotion fully. Expression does not require identification. An emotion fully felt without resistance often completes itself naturally. Suppression freezes emotion. Identification feeds emotion. Observation frees emotion. This is emotional detachment.
Notice how strong emotions often demand action. They say, do something now. Detachment allows space before action. In that space, clarity emerges. You still feel, you still care, but you are not hijacked. Detachment does not make you pulled, it makes you clear. Now bring attention to a past emotion that often returns, perhaps sadness, anger, fear, longing. Do not analyze the story, just notice the emotional tone. Feel it in the body. Notice that awareness is present now, watching a memory of emotion. The emotion is not happening in the past, it is happening now as sensation. This changes everything, because what is happening now can be observed. Let awareness hold the sensation gently. Notice how emotion changes when it is loud. It may soften, it may shift location, it may fluctuate in intensity. Let it do what it does. Detachment is patience. Emotions are not enemies, they are information. They signal needs, boundaries, values, and experiences. Detachment allows you to listen without obeying blindly. Awareness hears emotion clearly. Identification distorts it. Now notice the urge to label emotion as good or bad, useful or useless, appropriate or inappropriate. Let those judgments arise. Observe them as thoughts. Judgment adds weight. Observation adds space. Let emotion be just sensation and energy. The body knows how to process emotion when it is not interrupted. Often, emotional pain persists not because the emotion is too strong, but because it was never fully allowed. Detachment is allowing without drowning. Stay with awareness. Notice how even intense emotion exists within a larger field of calm. The calm may feel distant at first, but it is there. The calm is awareness itself. Notice how awareness does not tense when emotion appears. Awareness does not panic. It remains open. Let the nervous system learn this safety. Over time, emotions feel less threatening, not because they disappear, but because they are no longer confused with identity. You are not anger. You are not fear. You are not sadness. You are the awareness that experiences them. This recognition changes your relationship with emotion forever. Now notice how detachment affects compassion.
When you are not consumed by your own emotion, you can meet others with clarity. You can listen without defensiveness. You can respond without projection. Detachment deepens connection. It removes emotional blindness. Let awareness stay steady as emotion moves. If emotion fades, let it fade. If it stays, let it stay. There is no goal here. Freedom is not the absence of feeling. Freedom is the absence of emotional captivity. Stay present. Notice how emotion eventually transforms when not resisted. Even grief changes shape. Even anger softens. Even fear loosens. Not through force, through presence. Detachment is not numbness. If numbness appears, observe it too. Numbness is also an experience. It is also allowed. Everything can be met with awareness. This is emotional maturity.
Not control, not suppression, not indulgence, but presence. Let awareness remain open and gentle. You are learning to feel deeply without losing yourself. That is true emotional freedom. Rest here.
Who you are before the story begins. Bring attention to the sense of I. Not who you think you are. Not your name, history, or role, but the feeling of being someone. That subtle sense of me. Identity feels solid, but when observed closely, it is made of many moving parts. Thoughts, memories, beliefs, emotions, roles, and stories all come together to create the experience of a self. Notice how often the mind refers to I. I want. I fear. I remember. I should be. Observe how naturally this happens without questioning. Now gently ask, not to answer with words, but to notice directly, what is this I made of? Notice that identity appears as thought. A thought says, this is me. Another thought says, this is my past. Another says, this is my future. Together, they create continuity. But continuity is not the same as reality. Identity is a narrative thread woven through time. Awareness is timeless. Notice how memories arise now. Even the past appears only as images, sensations, and thoughts in the present. The future also appears as imagination now. The I exists as a collection of experiences happening now. Observe this without trying to dismantle it. Identity is not wrong, it is functional. It allows navigation, communication, responsibility. But suffering arises when identity is mistaken for what you are. The illusion is not that identity exists. The illusion is that identity is fixed and absolute. Notice how identity changes across situations. Who you are at work is different from who you are with friends, different again when alone, different again in conflict or rest. Which one is real? Observe how identity automatically adapts. Roles shift, attitudes change, language adjusts, yet awareness remains the same. That constancy is important. Now, notice emotional reactions. When emotion arises, identity tightens. I am angry. I am hurt. I am afraid. The emotion becomes the self. Observe this merging. Now notice awareness watching that merging. There is emotion. There is identity claiming it. and there is awareness observing both. You are the observer. Identity depends on memory. Without memory, the sense of self loosens. Notice how in moments of deep presence, identity fades into the background. There is experience, but less story. Have you noticed moments when you were fully absorbed in nature, in creativity, in silence, in deep focus? Identity was quieter there. Awareness was still present. Identity reappears when thought resumes. This shows something important. Identity is activity. Awareness is presence. Identity requires effort to maintain. Awareness does not. Now notice the body. Identity often anchors itself in the body. This is my body. Observe the sensation of ownership. Feel the boundary. Then notice that sensations appear in awareness just like thoughts. The body is experienced. Ownership is thought. Awareness experiences both. Identity also attaches to belief. Beliefs about who you are, what you deserve, what is possible, what is not. These beliefs shape perception and behavior. Notice a belief about yourself. Do not challenge it, just observe it as a thought pattern. Notice how belief feels convincing. Notice how it carries emotion. Notice how it influences reaction. Then notice awareness watching the belief.
Beliefs appear. Awareness remains. Identity also carries fear of disappearance. If the story loosens, something feels threatened. This fear is natural. The mind equates identity with survival. Observe this fear gently. Notice that awareness is not afraid. Fear appears within awareness, but awareness itself remains calm. You do not disappear when identity loosens. What disappears is unnecessary tension. Let awareness rest in that recognition. Identity also depends on comparison. Better, worse, enough, not enough. These comparisons create self-image. Observe comparison as it arises. Notice how it shapes feeling. Notice how quickly it appears. Then notice awareness seeing comparison without joining it. Without comparison, identity softens. Now bring attention to the present moment. Without referencing past or future, without labeling yourself, without describing who you are. Just notice being. This is not emptiness. This is presence without story. Notice how simple it feels. Identity may try to return. Let it return. Awareness does not need to resist it. You are not trying to remove identity. You are learning not to confuse it with truth. Identity is a tool. Awareness is the ground. When identity is held lightly, it functions without causing suffering. When identity is believed absolutely, life becomes heavy. Now notice how emotional pain often comes from defending identity, being right, being seen, being validated, being safe. Observe how much energy is spent protecting the story of me. Then notice how awareness does not need protection. Awareness does not defend itself. It does not compete. It does not compare. It simply is. This realization brings relief. You can still have preferences. You can still have values. You can still act. But you are no longer imprisoned by the story. Identity loosens. Life flows. Notice how compassion grows when identity softens. Without a rigid self,
Others are seen more clearly. Their behavior is less personal. Understanding deepens. Identity divides. Awareness connects. Let awareness remain present as identity continues to function. You are not trying to destroy it. You are seeing through it. Seeing through identity does not make you passive. It makes you flexible. You can use identity when needed and set it down when not. That is freedom. Now rest in awareness without referencing who you are. Just for this moment. No labels, no roles, no history. There is seeing, there is hearing, there is sensing, there is being. Nothing is missing. Identity may return. Let it return. Awareness remains unchanged. This is not an achievement. It is a recognition. You were never the story. You were always the one aware of it. Rest here.
Seeing how the mind creates past and future. Bring attention to the sense of time, not clock time, not schedules or hours, but psychological time. Psychological time is the movement of thought between past and future. It is memory pulling backward and imagination pulling forward. It is the sense that something important is not happening now, but happened before or must happen later. Notice how often the mind leaves the present. It revisits conversations, mistakes, regrets. It rehearses possibilities, plans, fears, and hopes. All of this happens now, but it feels like another time. Observe this movement gently. Psychological time is not real time. It is mental activity. It is thought pretending to be time. The past exists only as memory now. The future exists only as imagination now. Notice this directly. Bring to mind a memory. Observe how it appears as images, sensations, emotions, and thoughts in the present moment. The memory is not happening in the past. It is happening now as experience. Bring to mind an anticipation. Notice how it appears the same way. Images, sensations, emotions, thoughts, again happening now. This reveals something important. Time, psychologically, is a pattern of thought. This does not mean memory and planning are wrong. They are practical tools. But when psychological time dominates awareness, suffering increases. Notice how emotional pain is often tied to psychological time. Regret lives in the past. Anxiety lives in the future. Guilt looks backward. Fear looks forward. Rarely does suffering exist purely in the present. Observe how the mind uses time to maintain identity, stories of who you were, stories of who you should become. These stories feel continuous, but they are reconstructed moment by moment. Identity feeds on time. Awareness does not. Notice how the present moment feels when not interpreted through past or future. It feels open, simple, direct. Psychological time adds weight to the moment. It says, "This is not enough yet," or "This is already ruined." Observe these messages as thoughts. They are not facts. The mind believes time is necessary for change, but real change happens only now. Even long processes unfold through present moments. Notice how the body lives without psychological time. It breathes now. It heals now. It responds now. It does not regret yesterday or fear tomorrow. Awareness is closer to the body than to thought. Let attention rest in present sensation. Feel the body, the breath, the environment. Notice how time softens here.
This is not denial of time. It is freedom from psychological captivity. Psychological time creates urgency. Presence creates clarity. Notice how urgency disappears when attention rests fully here. There is nothing missing now. Thought may disagree. Let it disagree. Awareness remains. Understanding psychological time is the first step, not to eliminate it, but to stop being dominated by it. You see it, you recognize it, you no longer confuse it with reality.
Functioning in the world without mental time pressure. Now bring attention to how life functions without psychological time. Notice that action still happens, decisions still happen, movement still happens, but they arise from presence, not pressure. Living without psychological time does not mean forgetting responsibilities. It means responding without mental noise. Notice how clarity emerges when attention is here. You see what needs to be done. You act, then you return. No mental replay, no anticipation loop. This is efficient and peaceful. Psychological time often says, "I will be complete later." Notice this belief. Happiness postponed, peace delayed, fulfillment scheduled. Observe how this belief never delivers. Later never arrives psychologically. It becomes another now. Presence is the only place life happens. Notice how satisfaction appears when attention is fully engaged with what is happening. Even simple actions feel complete. Timeless presence does not reject goals. It removes identity from them. You work toward outcomes without becoming psychologically trapped by them. Effort becomes lighter, focus sharper. Notice how creativity flows more easily without time pressure. Ideas arise, solutions appear, not because you force them, but because attention is available. Psychological time blocks intelligence. Presence invites it. Now notice fear of slowing down. The mind may say, "If I stop thinking about the future, I will fail." Observe this fear. Notice that awareness itself is intelligent. It responds appropriately without constant planning. You do not need to abandon planning. You need to abandon obsession. There is a difference. Living without psychological time also softens emotional reactions. Insults linger less. Mistakes dissolve faster because there is no replay. You feel, you learn, you move on. Presence digests experience completely. Notice how forgiveness becomes easier without time. Without replaying past injury, resentment loses fuel. This does not erase memory. It erases psychological imprisonment. Timeless presence also deepens listening. When not mentally ahead or behind, you hear fully. You see clearly. Connection becomes real. Now notice moments in your life when time disappeared. Flow states, deep listening, intimacy, nature, silence. These moments were not empty. They were full. That fullness exists here too. The difference is attention. Living without psychological time is a practice of returning again and again, not forcing presence, but noticing when time thinking dominates and gently releasing it. You do not escape time, you stop living inside it mentally. Life continues, but it feels lighter. Now rest in this recognition, not trying to hold it.
Let it come and go. Each return to presence weakens psychological time. Eventually, presence becomes familiar. Time becomes a tool, not a prison. This is not mystical. It is practical freedom. You are here, not arriving, not leaving, just here. There is nothing to reach, nothing to fix, nothing missing in this moment. Sounds move through space. They come close, they move away. Awareness stays. Thoughts appear quietly. Some are loud, some are faint. They rise, they fall. You do not need to follow them. Breathing happens on its own. No instruction needed. In, out. The body adjusts. Small movements, tiny sensations, all happening naturally. Awareness does not manage any of it. It watches. Time feels different here. Not fast, not slow, just open. There is no pressure to understand, no need to hold attention tightly. If the mind drifts, it drifts. If it returns, it returns. Both are allowed. Awareness is not effort. It is not concentration. It is not focus. It is already present. Moments pass through. Images, memories, plans. They appear like clouds. They dissolve without instruction. Nothing needs to be pushed away. Notice the space around sounds, the quiet that holds them. Notice the pause between breaths, the softness there. Awareness rests in that space. Life continues to move. Somewhere decisions are being made. Somewhere actions are unfolding. Here there is simply being. No role to perform, no identity to defend, just this. The body feels gravity, weight on the ground, support without effort. Awareness feels no weight at all. Thoughts may say something about this moment. They may label it. They may judge it. Awareness listens without reacting. Nothing personal is happening here. Feel the simplicity of that. Nothing personal. Emotions may pass through the body. Warmth, tightness, ease. They move like weather. Awareness does not chase comfort. Awareness does not resist discomfort. It stays open. You do not need to stay present. Presence is already here. There is no correct way to experience this. Whatever is noticed is enough. The mind may try to measure time. How long has it been? How long is left? Those are just thoughts. They float by. Awareness does not count minutes. It does not wait for progress. It does not expect change. It allows. Notice how effort fades when nothing is required. No goal, no achievement. Just being with what is. Sounds continue. Breath continues. Life continues. Awareness remains steady. There's a quiet confidence here. Not loud, not proud, just stable. Nothing can disturb awareness. Experiences come and go, but awareness does not move with them. Even distraction is noticed. Even restlessness is noticed. Nothing is outside of this. You do not need to hold on to this feeling. It is not a feeling. It is the background of all feelings. Stay here without trying. Let moments pass through. Awareness is wide enough. There is nothing you need to do to stay here. Staying happens by itself. Awareness does not come and go. Only attention shifts. Attention moves to sound, then to sensation, then to thought. Awareness stays unchanged. Notice how easy it is to listen. No effort in hearing, no effort in noticing. Sounds arrive already complete. They leave without asking permission. Awareness does not follow them. The body breathes again and again, each breath different, none needing control. The mind may comment, it may whisper opinions, it may search for meaning. Let it speak. There's no need to answer. Awareness does not argue with thought. It does not correct it. It simply sees it. Feel the space inside the chest, not as an image, as a sense of openness. That openness does not belong to the body. The body appears inside it. Feel the room you are in, the sense of distance, near and far. All of it appears in the same open field. Nothing is closer to awareness than anything else. A sound across the room and a thought inside the head appear in the same way. Both come, both go. Awareness does not prefer one over the other. There is a softness here, not created, not maintained. It was already here before listening began. Thoughts may slow down, or they may not. Both are fine. Silence may appear between thoughts, or thoughts may overlap. Awareness holds both equally. Notice how experience unfolds on its own, without effort, without management. Life knows how to live itself. You are not directing this moment, yet it is happening perfectly. Even the sense of me is just another appearance, a familiar voice, a familiar feeling, seen, not followed. Awareness does not need a center. It has no edge, no boundary. Everything appears within it. Notice how rest is already present when resistance is absent. No pushing away, no pulling closer, just allowing. Time continues to pass, but awareness does not move through time. It remains while moments change. The mind may check again. Am I doing this right? That question is just another sound. Awareness hears it and remains unchanged. There is no correct depth, no required calm. Whatever is noticed is already included. Stay with the simplicity of noticing, noticing without choice, no selecting, no rejecting. Life flows through awareness like water through open space. Nothing sticks, nothing needs to. Awareness does not accumulate experience. It does not collect memories. Each moment is fresh, here, then gone, here again. There's an ease in not holding anything. Even effort dissolves when it is seen. Even trying is allowed. Awareness includes trying without becoming it. Feel how wide this is. No inside, no outside, just presence. Rest here without resting. Be here without being someone. Awareness is already doing the work by simply being what it is.
Awareness is already open. Nothing needs to open it further. Experience continues to arrive on its own. A sound, a sensation, a thought. Each one appears briefly and then makes space for the next. Awareness does not hold the previous moment. It does not prepare for the next. It stays with what is. There is no effort in noticing. Noticing happens naturally, just like hearing, just like breathing. The mind may wander into images, faces, places, fragments of memory. They appear softly, like echoes. Awareness listens without stepping inside. Notice the calm beneath movement, not a forced calm, not a created stillness, a natural quiet that does not disappear when thoughts appear. That quiet has always been here. The body may feel heavy or light, warm or cool. Sensations change. Awareness does not. Feel the rhythm of breathing without following it. No counting, no controlling. In, out. Each breath completes itself. The mind may search for something special, a sign, a shift. Nothing special is required. This moment does not need improvement. Awareness does not chase experience. It allows experience to pass through. Even boredom is noticed. Even impatience is noticed. Nothing is excluded. Notice how awareness is never tired. Fatigue appears in the body. Confusion appears in thought. Awareness remains clear. It does not comment. It does not evaluate.
It simply sees. Space is always present, between sounds, between sensations, even between thoughts. That space is not empty. It is alive with presence. You do not enter that space. You notice it. And when it is noticed, nothing changes. Awareness does not deepen. It does not expand. It simply reveals itself as it has always been. Time continues to unfold. Moments line up, then dissolve. Awareness does not move with time. It remains while change happens. Nothing needs to be remembered. Nothing needs to be understood. This is not information. It is experience, and experience happens on its own. Let attention rest without placing it anywhere. No focus, no object, just open noticing. If attention attaches to something, it attaches. If it releases, it releases. Both are natural. Awareness does not interfere. Notice how simple this is when nothing is demanded. No practice, no method, just being present as presence itself.
Nothing needs to happen next. This moment does not lead anywhere. Awareness does not wait for results. It does not expect progress. Experience unfolds in its own rhythm. A sound fades. Another appears. Silence remains. The body shifts slightly. Posture adjusts. Balance finds itself. Awareness notices without involvement. Thoughts may circle familiar themes. They may repeat. They may pause. Repetition does not disturb awareness. Silence does not complete it. Both belong. Notice how everything appears in the same open field. A sensation in the hands, a sound in the distance, a thought passing through. None are closer than the others. Awareness does not zoom in. It does not pull back. It stays wide. There is a gentle neutrality here. Not indifference, not detachment, just openness without preference. Pleasant sensations arise, unpleasant sensations arise. Neither stay. Awareness does not store them. The mind may try to anchor this moment, to hold the calm, to keep the quiet. That effort is also noticed. Awareness does not resist effort. It includes it. Even trying becomes part of the flow. There is no failure here. Nothing can be done wrong. Distraction is noticed. Presence is noticed. Both are appearances. Awareness remains untouched. Notice the absence of urgency. Nothing is late. Nothing is early. This moment is complete without reference to another. Breath continues. Life continues. No supervision required. Awareness does not guide life. Life expresses itself within awareness. The sense of control may loosen, not forced, not pushed. It loosens when it is seen. You do not need to let go. Letting go happens when holding is noticed. Everything resolves naturally. Awareness does not interfere with the intelligence of life. It trusts the unfolding without needing trust. Rest in that simplicity, not as a task, not as a state, just as what is already here.
There is a quiet steadiness beneath everything. It does not fluctuate with experience. Awareness does not react to movement. Movement happens within it. The mind may label this moment. It may call it calm. It may call it empty. Labels appear. They dissolve. Awareness does not keep names. Notice how experience keeps refreshing itself. Each sound new. Each sensation new. Nothing repeats exactly. Awareness meets each moment without memory. Even familiarity is just another appearance. The body may feel relaxed, or tense, or somewhere in between. All are allowed. Awareness does not search for comfort. It does not avoid discomfort. It stays present. Thoughts may fade into the background, or they may become vivid. Awareness does not move towards silence. It includes noise. There is no preferred experience. Attention may rest or drift. Both happen naturally. Awareness does not correct attention. There is no observer trying to observe. Observing happens on its own. The sense of I am aware may soften. Awareness does not need to identify itself. It simply is. Time continues to pass without leaving a trace. Moments appear. Moments vanish. Nothing accumulates. Notice how nothing needs to be carried forward. No past moment is required for the next one to appear. Each moment stands alone. Awareness does not compare this moment to the last. It does not judge progress. Even the wish for depth is just another thought, seen, allowed. Everything that arises is included equally. There is nothing outside this field. Rest here without resting. Be here without effort. Awareness remains because it cannot leave.
Nothing needs to conclude. Nothing needs to resolve. This moment does not close itself. It simply opens into the next. Awareness does not move forward. It does not come to an end. Experience continues to change. Awareness does not. There may be a sense of settling or a sense of restlessness. Both pass through without leaving a mark. Notice how nothing stays behind. The body breathes again, naturally, without instruction. Life continues to express itself without effort. Awareness does not oversee this. It does not supervise. It allows. The mind may return with questions. What now? What next? Those questions arise and dissolve like all others. Awareness does not answer. It does not need to. Silence may become noticeable, or sound may fill the space. Neither defines awareness. Awareness is not found in silence. It is not hidden by noise. It remains the same through both. Notice the absence of strain. Nothing is being held. Even attention is free to move. Nothing is required of you. Nothing is expected. There is no role to maintain. Just this open presence where everything appears. The sense of being someone may soften further. Not forced, not intentional. It softens when it is no longer needed. Awareness does not replace identity. Identity appears within awareness, seen, allowed. Moments continue, each one complete, each one passing. No moment depends on another. Awareness does not build a story. It stays before stories begin and after they end. There is nothing to keep from this, nothing to remember. Awareness is not an experience. It is what allows experience, and it remains whether noticed or not. Rest here without holding. Be here without effort. Awareness continues because it cannot do otherwise.
Awareness does not belong to quiet moments only. It is present in movement, in activity, in sound. Life begins to move again. Tasks appear, voices appear, situations unfold. Awareness does not stay behind. Walking happens. Hands move. Eyes look. Awareness moves nowhere, yet it is present in all of it. Notice how actions happen without constant instruction. You do not tell the heart to beat. You do not tell the body to balance. Life knows how to function. Awareness watches without interrupting. Thoughts may become practical. Plans, lists, decisions. They appear clearly, then move on. Awareness does not reject thinking. It allows useful thought without becoming lost in it.
There is a difference between using thought and being pulled by it. That difference is felt, not analyzed. While speaking, words form themselves. You hear your own voice as it happens. Awareness is already there, listening. While listening to others, sounds arrive, meaning forms. Awareness stays open without preparing a response. Responses arise naturally. There is less tension when awareness is present in action, not because action slows down, but because resistance fades. Mistakes may happen, pauses may happen, neither disturb awareness. The body reacts at times, emotion rises, heat, tightness, movement. Awareness notices without adding a story. Reaction completes itself more quickly when it is seen. Life does not require constant control. It asks for presence. Presence does not interfere, it clarifies. Moments stack together. Morning becomes afternoon. Afternoon becomes evening. Awareness does not track the day. It stays with what is here. There is no special posture required, no special mood. Standing, sitting, moving, all are equal. Awareness does not ask for separation from life. It includes life completely. Even distraction is part of life. Even forgetting is noticed when awareness returns. Nothing is broken. Awareness integrates itself without effort. This is not a practice added to life. It is life being seen as it is.
Awareness remains while movement continues. Daily life unfolds in layers. Small actions, larger intentions. Awareness is present in both. Notice how attention shifts without needing permission, from sound to sensation, from movement to stillness. Awareness does not follow, it stays open. The body responds to the environment. Light changes, temperature shifts. Awareness notices without needing to adjust. Thoughts may become repetitive, the same concerns, the same themes. Repetition does not trap awareness. It is simply seen again. Awareness does not grow tired of seeing the same thing. There is ease in allowing life to repeat itself. While eating, taste appears. While working, focus appears. While resting, quiet appears. Each experience completes itself when not resisted. Awareness does not divide moments into spiritual and ordinary. There is no separation. Ordinary moments are already complete. While waiting, time stretches. While busy, time compresses. Awareness does not measure time. It remains steady. Emotion may surface suddenly. Irritation, joy, sadness. Awareness notices the shift without pushing it away. Emotion moves more freely when it is not held. You do not need to solve feeling. Feeling resolves itself when allowed. Awareness does not make life passive. Action continues. Decisions arise. Steps are taken. Clarity appears without force. Notice how listening deepens when awareness is present. Not listening to reply, just listening. Words land more softly. Responses feel simpler.
Awareness does not add weight to interaction. It removes excess. There is less internal commentary, less narration. Life becomes direct. When mistakes happen, they are noticed. Correction happens naturally, without self-judgment. Awareness does not criticize, it observes. Daily life continues, moment by moment. Awareness remains moment by moment. Nothing special is required to keep it present. It is already included in everything that happens.
Awareness does not arrive at the beginning of the day. It is already present before the day is named. Morning sounds appear. Evening sounds appear. Awareness stays the same. The body moves through routine, familiar paths, familiar actions. Awareness is not dulled by familiarity. Each moment is met fresh when it is seen. The mind may label this as normal life, as ordinary. Awareness does not divide experience that way. Ordinary moments carry the same presence as quiet ones. While speaking, tone appears. While listening, silence appears between words. Awareness includes both. Even conflict appears within awareness. Raised voices, strong reactions. Awareness does not disappear when intensity rises. It becomes more noticeable when resistance drops. You do not need to escape experience to remain aware. Awareness remains in the middle of activity. The body responds before thought finishes. Awareness notices reaction without blame. Blame dissolves when it is seen. Daily life continues without pause. Tasks complete themselves. New ones appear. Awareness does not hold a list. It stays with what is here. There is simplicity in meeting one moment at a time, not planning presence, not remembering presence, just noticing. When attention is lost, it is lost. When it returns, it returns. No correction required. Awareness does not keep score. It does not reward consistency. It does not punish forgetting. It simply remains. Even exhaustion appears within awareness. Awareness does not become tired. Rest happens when needed. Movement happens when needed. Life balances itself when not overmanaged. Awareness allows that balance. Notice how natural this feels when nothing is added. Just life as it unfolds, just awareness as it notices.
Awareness does not separate itself from the flow of events. Conversations continue. Movement continues. Decisions appear. Awareness remains present without stepping forward. There is no switch to turn on, no mode to enter. Awareness is already woven into every moment. Notice how the body knows when to pause and when to move. You do not calculate balance. Balance happens. Awareness notices without directing. The mind may rush ahead, imagining outcomes, replaying moments. Awareness stays with what is actually here. There is relief in not needing to follow thought. Thought continues to serve when needed. When not needed, it fades. Awareness does not suppress thinking. It gives it space. Actions become simpler when unnecessary tension drops. Less inner resistance, less internal commentary. Life feels lighter, not because it changed, but because weight was released. Even busy moments contain stillness, between steps, between words, between breaths. Awareness notices these gaps without searching for them. They appear naturally. Mistakes may be seen sooner. Adjustments happen sooner. Not because of effort, but because clarity is present. Awareness sharpens perception without strain. There is a quiet confidence in allowing life to move. No need to rush awareness, no need to protect it. It is not fragile. Awareness remains through distraction, through focus, through rest. Everything passes through it without leaving damage. Daily life continues with its natural rhythm. Awareness continues without rhythm at all. It simply is.
Awareness does not compete with the world. It does not need to. Sounds, movements, emotions all appear and dissolve within its field. Even strong sensations are included naturally. The body moves, reacts, sometimes hesitates. Awareness observes without interference. Thoughts arise about what to do next, or what happened before, or what might happen later. Awareness notices without clinging. Every moment is already complete. Nothing is missing. Nothing needs to be added. Even mistakes are neutral. Even regret dissolves when seen clearly. Awareness does not follow judgment. It does not argue. It does not correct. Tasks appear and are done. Words are spoken. Actions are taken, all within the same openness. Notice how ease appears, not because life changed, but because tension fades. Moments continue seamlessly. No effort is required. Even while busy, even while distracted, even while tired, awareness remains. The mind may label moments as important or trivial. Awareness does not. Everything is noticed equally. No distinction, no preference. Breathing continues. Movement continues. Life continues. Awareness continues. There is no need to hold. There is no need to control. There is no need to follow. Just being here as life unfolds. Presence is constant. It needs no validation. It needs no approval. It simply is. Moments pass through. Nothing sticks. Nothing clings. Awareness remains steady, unmoved, open.
Emotions arise naturally. They come and go. They are not permanent. They are not possessions. Awareness does not try to hold them. It does not try to push them away. It simply observes. A wave of joy may appear. It moves through the body. It shines for a moment, then fades. Sadness may come next. It touches the chest, softening, then passing. Even anger is included, even fear. All sensations move freely when awareness notices. You do not need to fix emotion. You do not need to explain it. You do not need to judge it. It simply exists, and so does awareness. Notice how the body responds. Heartbeat rises and falls. Breathing changes.
tension appears, then dissolves. Awareness does not react. It does not get caught. The mind may tell a story. It may label emotions as good or bad. It may try to solve them. Awareness simply sees the movement. It does not argue. It does not correct. Feel how freedom arises when emotion is witnessed without interference. Even discomfort is included, even heaviness, even restlessness. Nothing needs to be removed. Nothing needs to be added. Emotions flow naturally, like rivers through open space. Awareness does not direct the flow. It simply notices. Moments of intensity pass. Moments of calm pass. All of it is noticed equally. Notice how attention moves from body to mind, from sensation to thought. Awareness stays steady. It does not chase. It does not follow. Even emotional storms do not disturb it. Breathing continues. Awareness continues. Life continues.
Emotions appear and fade. Some linger. Some pass quickly. Awareness does not cling. It does not resist. Even strong feelings can be included fully. Even sudden changes do not disturb it. Notice how the body responds. Muscles tighten, then relax. Heart beats faster, then slows. Breath shifts naturally. Awareness stays present. It does not try to change anything. The mind may comment, "This should not be happening. That is too much." Awareness notices these thoughts without believing them. There is no need to solve emotion, no need to escape it, no need to amplify it. Simply notice, simply allow. Joy may return, sadness may deepen, anger may soften. All moves naturally. All is observed. Notice the subtle shifts between one emotion and the next. Even subtle changes are included. Awareness is not disturbed by intensity. It does not push away pain. It does not hold on to pleasure. Both rise and fall. Both appear in the same open field. Even memory of past emotions appears and dissolves. Awareness sees them all. Life continues. Tasks appear. Interactions happen. Awareness remains steady through action and reaction. Notice the space between sensations, between thoughts, between moments. Even silence is included, even sound. All experience passes through without leaving a trace. Breathing continues. Life continues. Awareness continues. Nothing needs to be fixed. Nothing needs to be remembered. Nothing needs to be repeated. Presence is constant. Even as emotions come and go, even as the mind wanders, awareness does not change. It does not move. It does not cling. It simply remains. Awareness does not take sides. It does not favor pleasant feelings or reject unpleasant ones. All emotions appear equally. All sensations are included. Notice how tension may arise. Notice how it shifts and fades. Awareness observes without interference. The mind may want control. It may label, judge, or plan. Awareness sees these impulses without following them. Even discomfort can be welcomed. Even anxiety or sadness can flow freely when not resisted. Breathing continues naturally. The body adjusts on its own. Awareness notices the movement without adding effort. Emotion is energy in motion. Awareness is the space it moves through. Feel the rise and fall of energy. Notice the subtle shifts inside the body and mind. Even small changes matter. Even quiet feelings can be observed fully. Awareness does not amplify or diminish what appears. It does not interfere. It simply includes everything. Moments of joy may feel fleeting. Moments of tension may linger. None disturb awareness. All pass through the open field. Notice how life continues. Even with emotional waves, tasks are done, words are spoken, movements unfold. Awareness remains steady. It does not leave even as attention moves. You do not need to fix emotion. You do not need to analyze it. You do not need to escape it. It flows naturally when included. Even repeated patterns are welcomed. Even recurring themes do not exhaust awareness. The mind may wander. Attention may drift. Awareness does not follow or chase. It observes. It notices. It remains. Breathing continues. Awareness continues. Life continues. There is no goal. There is no end point. Presence itself is complete. All emotion, all sensation, all thought are included fully. No resistance, no clinging, just noticing, just allowing, just being. Awareness does not judge intensity. It does not measure how strong or weak a feeling is. All emotions are included equally. Joy, sadness, anger, calm, fear, love. None require manipulation. None need control. Notice how energy moves through the body. Tension rises, then softens. Breath shifts. Muscles respond. Awareness simply notices. It does not interfere. Even subtle shifts in feeling are observed fully. Nothing escapes awareness. The mind may seek explanation. It may wonder why this is happening. It may predict what will come next. Awareness notices the mental chatter without becoming entangled. Emotion flows naturally. It is self-organizing. It rises, moves, and falls without effort. You do not need to stop emotion. You do not need to fix it. You do not need to judge it. Notice the space between feelings. Even brief gaps carry awareness. All experiences appear within the same open field. Even repeated thoughts, even recurring patterns of feeling do not disturb awareness. The body breathes. The mind shifts. Emotions come and go. Awareness remains steady. It does not chase. It does not resist. There is no need to hold on to peace. There is no need to hold on to joy. There is no need to push away pain. All is included. All is allowed. Even mistakes, regrets, and worries appear and dissolve within awareness. Notice how freedom arises naturally when resistance drops, when observation replaces control. Life continues, tasks unfold, words are spoken, movements happen. Awareness is present in all of it. It does not need recognition. It does not require reward. It simply is. Awareness remains steady even as emotions fluctuate. Strong waves may come. Subtle shifts may appear. All are included. Notice how the body responds. Heartbeats rise and fall. Breath deepens and eases. Muscles tense, then soften. Awareness observes without interference. Thoughts may label emotions as good, bad, pleasant, or painful. Awareness does not follow labels. It simply notices. Even repeated emotional patterns do not disturb it. They are seen, then allowed to move on. Feel the natural rhythm of experience. Energy moves through you. Awareness watches. It does not push. It does not hold. The mind may seek control. It may try to organize feelings. Awareness allows the effort without joining it. Freedom arises naturally when resistance fades. Acceptance appears without forcing it. Tasks continue. Conversations unfold. Movement happens. Awareness stays present through all. Notice the gaps between sensations, between thoughts, between emotions. Even brief pauses are included fully. There is no special state required, no method required, no effort required. Life flows naturally. Awareness flows naturally. Even forgetting is noticed. Even distraction is included. Nothing is broken. Nothing needs repair. Presence is complete, even as experience continues. Moments rise and fall. Nothing is clung to. Nothing is resisted. Awareness is steady, open, constant, whole. Awareness remains present even as the day moves forward. Emotions appear. They rise. They change. They fade. All are included. All are allowed. Notice how subtle shifts occur without forcing them. Energy moves naturally. Tension rises and softens. Breathing adjusts. Awareness does not intervene. It does not hold. It does not push away. Thoughts may label or judge. Awareness notices without entanglement. Even strong feelings do not disturb its steadiness. Even sudden reactions are included fully. The body moves. Tasks are done. Conversations happen. Actions unfold. Awareness continues through all. Notice the space between sensations, between thoughts, between emotions. Even silence is included. Even noise is included. All is contained within the same openness. There is no need to fix anything, no need to solve anything, no need to understand. Presence itself is complete, whole, constant.
Even memory of past emotion appears and dissolves within awareness. The mind may wander. Attention may drift. Awareness does not chase. It simply observes. Even fatigue or restlessness is noticed fully. Life flows naturally. Awareness flows naturally. Emotions flow naturally. Nothing needs to be held. Nothing needs to be released. Nothing needs to change. All is included. All is allowed. All is here. Rest here. Notice. Breathe. Be. Awareness continues because it cannot do otherwise.
Awareness is present even in connection with others. Voices speak, gestures appear, emotions rise. All of it moves through space. Awareness does not cling, it does not reject, it simply notices. Conversations unfold naturally. Some are calm, some are intense, some are fleeting. Awareness remains steady through all tones and pauses. Notice how attention shifts between listening and speaking. Awareness does not follow it. It stays open. The mind may try to plan what to say next. It may judge what was said. Awareness simply observes without getting caught. Even disagreement does not disturb awareness. Even strong emotion does not unsettle it. The body reacts. Facial expressions change. Gestures move. Heart rate rises. Awareness sees all without interference. Notice the subtle signals between words, between tones, between silences. Even when someone is distant or distracted, awareness notices. There is no need to control interaction, no need to fix others, no need to manipulate outcomes. Presence itself becomes the guide. Emotions arise within connection. Joy, frustration, curiosity, compassion, all are included. All are allowed. Awareness does not pick favorites. It includes each feeling equally. Even repeated patterns within relationships are observed and released without judgment. Life continues. Conversations continue. Interactions happen. Awareness remains open, even when attention drifts. Even when the mind wanders, presence does not leave. It simply includes. Notice the space between words, between gestures, between breaths. All is observed without interference. Even conflict is included. Even silence is included. Awareness does not need to fix anything. It simply notices. Moments arise and fade. All are seen. All are included. Awareness continues even as interactions deepen. Conversations may become emotional. Confusion may arise. Tension may surface. Awareness does not take sides. It does not judge. It simply observes. Notice how the body responds. Muscles tighten. Heartbeat rises. Breath shifts. Awareness sees all without trying to change it. Even strong reactions are included fully. Even disagreements do not disturb steadiness. The mind may attempt control, planning responses, evaluating words, analyzing behavior. Awareness notices these thoughts without being pulled in. All experiences appear in the same open field.
Notice how emotions flow naturally when resistance is absent. Anger softens, fear eases, joy is felt, sadness passes. Awareness remains constant through all changes. Even repeated patterns of interaction do not disturb it. The body moves, gestures appear, words are spoken. Awareness does not interfere. It does not judge correctness. It simply includes everything. Notice the space between words, the pause between gestures, the silent moments between thoughts. Even subtle cues in posture, tone, or expression are observed fully. Presence itself becomes the guide. Responses arise naturally. Decisions are made naturally. Connection flows naturally. Awareness does not seek to control outcome. It observes, it notices, it allows. Even distance or distraction is included. Even tension or miscommunication is noticed. All moments of relationship appear within awareness. Nothing is excluded. Nothing is resisted. Life continues. Interactions continue. Presence continues. Breathing continues. Awareness continues. Connection continues. All is included. All is allowed. Awareness does not leave, even when attention drifts. Others speak. Gestures are made. Emotions rise and fall. All of it moves through the field of awareness. Notice how subtle changes in expression can convey meaning. A pause, a glance, a tone. Awareness notices without analyzing, without judging. Even when conflict appears, even when tension is high, awareness remains steady. The mind may want to plan responses. It may want to fix misunderstanding. It may want to control outcome. Awareness observes these impulses without joining them. Notice how interaction flows naturally when interference is absent. Words are spoken. Responses appear. Movement unfolds. Awareness does not push or pull. It simply observes. Emotions within connection come and go. Joy arises. Sadness passes. Frustration softens. All is included equally. Even repeated patterns do not disturb awareness. Even habitual responses appear and dissolve naturally. Breath continues. Muscles adjust. Attention shifts. Awareness does not follow it. It does not hold it. It simply includes. Notice the space between moments, between gestures, between words. Even silence is included. Presence itself becomes the guide. Actions arise naturally. Communication flows naturally. Even when outcomes are uncertain, even when intentions are unclear, awareness remains. There is no need to fix connection, no need to change others, no need to force understanding. Moments appear, moments pass, all are included. Awareness does not judge, it does not select, it does not favor. It simply notices, it simply remains. Life continues, connection continues, awareness continues.
Awareness does not leave, even as interactions shift. Some moments are calm. Some moments are intense. Some moments are brief. All of it moves through the same field. Notice how attention moves naturally between listening and speaking, between giving and receiving. Awareness does not follow. It does not control. It does not interfere. Even when emotions rise, even when tension grows, awareness remains steady. The body responds naturally. Breath adjusts, muscles shift, heart rate changes. Awareness notices without judgment, without resistance. Thoughts may try to plan, analyze, or correct. Awareness simply observes. Emotions flow freely when not resisted. Frustration softens. Joy brightens. Sadness passes. Even habitual reactions appear and fade without disturbing awareness. Notice the subtle spaces between gestures, words, and expressions. Even silence carries meaning. Awareness sees it all without picking favorites, without exclusion. Responses emerge naturally. Communication flows naturally. Connection deepens naturally. Even misunderstanding does not disrupt awareness. Even distance or distraction is noticed and included. Presence itself becomes the guide. Actions, words, and responses arise spontaneously. Life continues. Relationships continue. Awareness continues. There is no need to fix anything, no need to force outcomes, no need to correct mistakes. All is included, all is allowed, all is noticed. Rest here for a moment. Simply observe. Simply be. Presence continues. Awareness remains even as connection deepens. Emotions appear, words are spoken, gestures are made. All arise within awareness. Nothing is excluded. Nothing is resisted. Notice how subtle shifts convey meaning. A glance, a tone, a pause. Awareness observes without judgment, without interference. Even when disagreement occurs, even when tension rises, awareness remains steady. The mind may want to plan responses. It may want to control outcomes. It may want to judge behavior. Awareness sees these impulses without following them. Life flows naturally. Communication flows naturally. Connection unfolds naturally. Breathing continues. Movement continues. Interaction continues. Even repeated patterns are included fully. Even habitual responses do not disturb awareness. Notice the spaces between moments, between gestures, between words. Even silence is observed. Presence itself guides action. Responses arise naturally. Interaction moves effortlessly. Awareness does not need to fix anything. It does not need to control outcomes. It does not need to judge others. All feelings, thoughts, and movements are included equally. Even conflict is included. Even misunderstanding is included. Even distance or distraction is included. Awareness remains constant, open, steady, whole. Life continues. Relationships continue. Presence continues. Breathing continues. Awareness continues. Connection continues. All is noticed.
All is allowed. All is included.
Awareness remains present even as the day unfolds. Interactions continue. Conversations arise. Emotions shift. All of it moves through the field of awareness. Notice how subtle gestures convey meaning. A glance, a tone, a pause. All of it is seen. Awareness does not interfere. It does not push. It does not hold. Even when conflict appears, even when tension rises, awareness remains steady. The mind may try to plan, analyze, or control. Awareness notices without being pulled in. Emotions flow naturally when they are included. Frustration softens, joy appears, sadness fades. Even repeated patterns do not disturb awareness. Even habitual reactions rise and fall without affecting steadiness. The body breathes, movement continues, words are spoken. Awareness observes without judgment, without expectation. Notice the space between moments, between gestures, between words. Even silence is included. Presence itself guides action. Responses emerge naturally. Interaction unfolds effortlessly. There is no need to fix anything, no need to force outcomes, no need to correct behavior. All experience, all emotion, all connection is included. Awareness does not pick favorites. It does not exclude. It does not resist. Life flows, relationships flow, awareness flows. Moments appear and vanish. All are noticed. All are included. All are allowed. Rest here. Observe. Breathe. Be. Awareness continues because it simply is.